Hey neighbor, come on in and sit a spell and let's talk gardening. Welcome to the Row by Row Gardening Show, the best dadgum gardening show on the internet, where we talk about gardening, a little bit of cooking, and growing your own food. Now sit back and enjoy. Woo, welcome to the show. Man, has it been hot. I thought I'd seen somewhere it's the hottest ever recorded on maybe some water temperatures in South Florida. One of the hottest July's ever. Yep. Been burning, been smoking around here. I tried to get out and work around a little bit yesterday afternoon. Didn't get a lot done because I finally just give up. It's tough. We've been gone a few days, and it's always amazing to me if you leave for 4 or 5 days and you come back, how much your garden can go downhill. Have you noticed that?
Yes, I have. Maggie's down here looking on my foot.
Okay, Maggie's back here to sit today. But yeah, 4 or 5 days and wow.
Yeah.
Get back in
Weeds.
It's just amazing how much. You know, when you go up there to the garden and do a little something every day, it makes a huge difference. But when you go and don't do anything, we had worm troubles when we got back, and the worms should get jumped in the garden. For you guys out there, August is a terrible time for worms. I went ahead and stepped it up and hit with Bug Buster 2 because I was behind the game a little bit, and they was doing a good bit of damage. I need to get some control. So Bug Buster 2
just jumped on there overnight while we were gone.
Everything. Squash bugs are out with a vengeance. I treated some pumpkins for squash bugs yesterday afternoon. Eggs is laying everywhere. I actually seen a couple adults. So when you get that stage, you just have to nuke them. And Bug Buster 2 is the nuke of choice there on that right there. So it's that time of year we're facing a lot of insect pressure, a lot of weed pressure, everything. You know, it's just I don't feel like getting there and doing a lot this time of year. It's that tough time for me. In a couple of weeks, it's going to be time to get some of those fall crops started, and I'll start feeling a little bit better. But it's tough right now.
Yeah, just don't want to do anything outside.
Don't want to do anything, yeah. But so today we're going to talk about gardening, our favorite gardening tools or products. And we talked about this for a little bit, and I decided to do something a little bit different. Instead of my favorite, I decided to do my most used, which could be the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, it could be.
And we got some a new product right here. If y'all see this right here, this is our new hat that we have on the site. We're just doing one color at a time now, and it's the Get Dirty hat. So,
It just came out this week.
have those on the site.
We've had a lot of requests to get our hats back, and we just finally got around to getting a new design, and so this is the only one on there. Nice looking hat.
It is. Get Dirty. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to run through our favorite or most used gardening products, and next week we're probably going to do something. In the month of August, our coming up Row by Row shows, we're going to do one on cowpeas, and we're going to dig in on varieties on cowpeas, and we're going to talk about the difference in them. Also, we're going to do one on fall plant, on things to plant in the fall. We're going to do a little slide. We're going to talk variety specific on those right there. We're going to drill down a little bit and talk about why you need to plant a particular variety, not just plant broccoli, but what broccoli should you plant. Give people an idea there. That being said, let's move into our favorite garden tools or products. You want to go first?
I'll go first. One of my top favorite, and I guess it would be most used, is, since I've got into fermentation, is this fermentation kit. Now we sell all these things separate, but you can buy them all in a kit. So it's everything that you need to start fermenting. You get the pickle packer, and I use this on more than just fermenting. I use this a lot with my, what?
If I walk by and say something wrong.
Yeah. Ta-da. On my herbs, drying them in the freeze dryer. But you get the pickle pipes,
Which is an airlock.
Which is airlock, so it lets the keeps the good bacteria in and keeps the bad bacteria out. And then it comes with your weights, and it comes with wide mouth. And we also sell these separately. And you can get them in regular mouth or wide mouth, as well as the pickle pipe separate. But I just find this is my go-to. I use it all the time. Very good product.
Well, I thought about all mine. I give it some pretty in-depth thought, what I use most now. Now, maybe not right now, but in springtime, one of my most used things, and people are going to find this interesting, is the single wheel hose. Whoa, whoa. Somebody's throwing a hat around. And the reason I think I find the single wheel hose is because it's versatile and I can work on narrow rosy. And I find this year, every year I use a different attachment more than I do the others. This year it happened to be the sweeps. I got sweeps set up on single wheel hose and I leave it out there next to my garden. I always grab that one, run through there. And so the single wheel hose is one of my, I use it more than I do the double or the arc.
And why?
Huh?
Why?
Because it's narrow.
Oh.
I can get into some tight spots in there and do what I need to do. So the single wheel hoe for me would be one of my top 5.
Okay. Push pull hoe is one of my favorites. It has the V handle. Something down.
This is your personal push pull hoe.
It is. So this is not some new one I got off the shelf back there. It's actually the one I use down. But it's got this triangle shape here, and it's much more effective than your regular hoe that you're going to chop, because you slide this that way. It's just more efficient, and you can get in close to the weeds. This steel here, what's it made out of?
High carbon steel.
High carbon steel.
Which is very tough.
But it's just a more effective motion there going on.
I like it because you can get underneath your drip line with it. You can shoot underneath that.
Yeah.
All right, so my number 2 is this baby right here. There again, this is my personal one. You can see it's dirtied up a little bit here. Is the single tine cultivator. We have these in the long handle and the short handle. This is the short handle version. And this one you could kind of choke up on right here and you can work down close. I use this a lot for onions and garlic, but I use it in between my plants a lot of times because if I'm working out in my middles there, I want to use something that I can carry more air with. So this is for finesse weeding right here. The problem with it is this is very sharp right here. So you can get into your drip tape. You want to be careful there. But what I do, if I'm working on top dripper, I turn it sideways and I scoot this way. Still have to be careful. It will snag it if your drip tape is not buried enough. But I find I use this one a lot. I keep this hanging right there at the edge of my garden. As I walk through, I can reach up and grab it.
So you use the shorter one more so?
I use the shorter one more than I do the long handle. I do. I don't know why I do, but I do. I guess it's a lot of it's habit. But it's easier when I need to get down and do something precise. It's easy to get down and do it closer.
I don't use that very much.
You know? It's one of my favorites.
One of your favorites. Okay, my next favorite, and we'll throw up a picture here, is the raised bed irrigation kit. I put that in this year and just fell in love with it. It's just so much less weeds, less pest pressure, less disease pressure, and you can hook up the fertilizer injector and do your fertilizing all at one time. Game changer. So the kit that we've got comes with everything you need to do 8 4x8 raised beds with 4 feet in between. So it's all comes in a box, very easy to put in.
And for me, now this is not sexy here by no means, and they make other sprayers out there besides our hoss sprayer, so don't get me wrong. But a sprayer, I thought about this yesterday afternoon. One of the most used things in my garden shed is a sprayer. Now I keep one for insecticides and fungicides, and I keep another one for my non-selective herbicides. So I never mix the two. You don't want to do that. But this is something right here that I use at least twice a week. And I'd hate to have to garden without it. course, ours has a little brass one on there, but all of these are pretty much the same. But you need you a good, now I like the gallon one. We sell a 1 gallon, 2 gallon, but I very seldom use the 2 gallon. Most time I use the 1 gallon because I normally don't have a lot to spray and I can fill it up. And you don't want to, when you use a sprayer, you want to use everything out. You don't want to leave everything in it. So I can manage that better with the 1 gallon sprayer. So once, and it's easier to tow around, of course. But that's one reason I think I gravitate to this smaller one right here, because I can get my stuff done quick and empty it out and put it back up. So that's something that you would never think about, which would be one of your favorite tools. And like I said, it's not sexy by no means, but it is a great useful tool in the garden is to have you a 1 gallon sprayer handy so you can do those small jobs.
So now my number 4 is the Hoss pruning shears. It's everybody needs it in the garden.
Oh, yeah.
Fruit trees, plants,
Grapevines. What about muscadine?
grapevines, anything you want to cut. I even trim my satsuma tree with it.
Yep.
It comes by itself.
Or
Or
you can pair it with the sheath. Let me see those sheaths here, and I'll give people a little information here. So these sheaths right here are made in the USA, but this is the way they come, non-treated. But you see how dark this one is right here? I love to put leather conditioner on there because it softens them up, and then it turns it a darker color. But the leather conditioner right here really makes it more pliable and easier to mold in with your Hoss pruning shears. So I highly recommend people do that. Now, the sheaths are made in the USA, but these are made in Switzerland, which is where all your good pruners are made. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. They tell me it's the same little small town over there that makes all the pruners right here. These are what categorized as bypass pruners, which means the one blade bypasses the stop right there and does a nice clean cut. So bypass pruners are probably the most popular. You got animal pruners and others out there. But these are excellent right here, good quality, and of course it's got the nice Hoss. You can't tell it on yours, but it's got a nice Hoss logo on it right there. And when you're on the product page, you can buy this, pair it with the sheath there. So, I agree with you. I use this a lot. I don't tote them on my belt as much as I thought I would, but I do occasionally. If I know I'm gonna be out there in the garden for a long time, or if it's in the fall of the year, I will stick it on my belt there.
What I like it is it fits my hand, which it says it fits all hand sizes. And I have a little arthritis in my hand, and some of the other shears I use, at the end of the day, it really works on my hand.
Yep.
But this don't seem to bother this bad.
My next one is the hose siphon mixer. You see this right here, folks? This is, if you do any kind of greenhouse growing, this right here is worth its weight in gold. One of my favorite ones here that I use the most, I leave this hooked up in my greenhouse right here. And what you do is you take this little black thing right here and you pre-mix your fertilizer in a 5-gallon bucket, and you drop that down and it pulls out of there. Of course, this hooks up to your water hose there. And it pulls up and mixes at a ratio of 16:1. It's preset, so you don't have to worry about setting it to a particular mix. It's preset at 16:1. What that means is for every 16 gallons of water that goes through this, you're gonna have 1 gallon of solution that goes through this. Ideal for using with your watering wand in the greenhouse. Now you can use it out with your flower beds. The thing about it is you can't go more than 50 feet beyond this. So that's the reason it works really well for a greenhouse situation. Now I use this one daily in my greenhouse. So whole siphon mixer there. And by the way, that's made in USA. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. All right, my last one.
Whoa, Maggie.
Would be the garden fork. Now, this is one I use in the garden too. What I like about this is it's very sturdy, but it's not too heavy. But I use it for digging my potatoes, for cultivating in my amendments, digging garlic. And it's got a foot pad on here, and this is interchangeable, so you can have it on your right or your left, depending on what you prefer.
Yep. Yep. Heavy duty garden. Every now and then we will have somebody, and this is probably about 3 times a year, we'll have somebody email in with a bent time on that one right there. and I always respond. They are much of a person if they can be in them tines right there. Those tines are heat treated and it's pretty thick still there. But man,
It can happen.
call it a tubular handle right there so you don't have to worry about it rotting, because some people I know don't put their tools up like other people do. So this one here will never have to worry about rotting out. I use that a lot too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some people might need a garden shed to put their tools in.
That's what they do. My next one is going to be the small drip irrigation kit. Now, that's a new one for this year, and it's been a game changer for people, especially if they got smaller gardens. And we're going to throw up a product page right here. This small irrigation kit, what's so unique about it is it's easy to install and anybody can put it in just a matter of minutes. The downside of it is you can't go longer than 30 feet with your rows. So if you've got a garden and there are less than 30 feet in your rows, this right here you've got to use. You can also use it with a fertilizer injector so you don't lose anything there. Water output on this right here is 1 gallon per minute per foot. Emitters every 6 inches, unlike our drip tape, which is every 12 inches. So this has been a game changer for me this year, especially on my smaller garden plots. I've actually redesigned my garden a little bit so I can use this system here because it's just so easy to use.
You like it better than drip tape?
I do for the small because it's easier. It's easier to put in. It's quicker to put in than the drip tape. If you're going over 30 feet in length and rows, you got to go with the drip tape. That's a no-brainer there. So we got a lot of stuff here. There was 10 items, wasn't there? 10 items we kind of went over
We'll
there.
put links in the description to each of these items if you want to check them out.
Yep, absolutely. And we got garden spotlight.
You want to
Yeah, I'll
bring
hold
this
them up
down?
for you.
So the garden spotlight this week is Paul and Barbie Beasley, Zone 8, Panama City, Florida.
Oh, look at that garden there. Garden entrance there, the trellis, and the garden shed. That's pretty neat, isn't it?
Look at that garden shed.
Nice and neat.
I know.
I love the way the fence is around it for the boundaries are there, and it seems like a very peaceful place.
Yeah, it said they're backyard hobby gardeners. He's retired law enforcement and the wife is a prosecutor. They primarily do raised bed and container gardens. They did add a new in-ground plot this year and grew sweet corn for the first time.
Oh yeah, here they are right here. Sweet corn in the nice garden hob, and then look at their peppers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Those peppers there are the
Gold Rush, aren't they? Yep, Gold Rush. They loaded up. And I want you to look at their corn here, folks. Now this is the way you grow corn in a backyard vegetable garden. See the 1, 2, 3, 4 rows? You need at least 4 rows. Grow them in a square right there. They got their drip irrigation down. Looks like they got sandy soils, which stands to reason if they in Bay County. But they did a great job. Got to feed that corn. Man, they did a great job growing that corn. I love that garden there. So thank you for sending that in. I always like to look at nice, neat gardens.
nice neat gardens.
That was Paul and Barbie Beasley. And they was Zone 8.
Not far from us.
Not far from us. And then we got the Great Fall Garden Festival Meet and Greet Gathering and Petals to the Past over in Jemison, Alabama, which is between, I'm going out on a limb here because I don't know that much about Alabama, but it's between Montgomery and Birmingham, up that neck of the woods right there. And that is going to be when?
September the 9th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. There's be a link in the description. They do want you to register, even though this is a free event, so we can prepare as far as bathrooms and food. There's going to be guest speakers throughout the day. There's going to be homegrown and homemade, like judging competition thing.
And there's going to be a couple of good speakers there. Jason from Colic Hill is going to speak, him and Brooke. It's going to be a wonderful time. Free admission, folks. So you can make plans to join us on that.
And for the education speakers, you do need to register for that because there's limited seating in that area.
All right, we got the old goat drawing from last week. And folks, if you don't know, on the set somewhere is an old goat figurine. Sometimes it hides, sometimes it walks around. But if you find it, put in the comments below where it's at. And the next week we'll have a drawing. And this week's winner is going to win these nice socks. So we just got these in. These are Get Dirty socks. Hoss Get Dirty socks. The only way you can get these, folks, is by winning a contest on the Row Show. These are not for sale, so that's the only way you can get them. And this week's winner is...
The first person to ever get a pair of socks.
That's right, and it's Bobby Evans. There you go, Bobby, right there. Send us your shipping information to customerserve@hosstools.com, and you're going to get the first pair of the socks. How about that?
What about updates?
Oh, yeah. So, folks, we got... had a little setback on the website, and we're a little behind on pre-sales. So we hope, fingers crossed, next week to have our new website up sometime during the week, and we're going to start pre-sales after that. We got strawberries, Chandler strawberry plugs we're going to be selling for the fall. That'll hopefully happen at the end of next week. We've got 6 different types of garlic, plus elephant garlic, that we're going to have pre-sales hopefully by the end of next week. And later on in the year, not quite this early, we'll have onion starts that we will do pre-sales on. That'll probably be another month or so away. But we got a lot of stuff coming up for fall planting pre-sales. So keep an eye out for that. New website, fingers crossed, hopefully next week. And we'll get all that behind us. How about that? Yep. All right, thank you for joining us. We went over some products today. We're getting a little bit excited about fall gardening. We're not in full swing yet, but within the next couple of weeks, we'll probably get really excited about it. I hope maybe the weather just cool off just a little bit. And we got some great shows coming up in the next couple of 3 weeks talking about fall gardening. So make sure you check in and stay tuned for that. In the meantime, won't you get outside and get dirty?